Hello, and welcome to Misreadings. I am your host, BB, and don't be too scared. This is my lovely co-host, Al,
Hi.
who will be tortured today.
Sometimes in life you just gotta put yourself through the ringer. Off we go.
So, today's book is none other than Bride by Allie Hazelwood.
No! We're doing werewolf stuff?
That's why I wore my Twilight shirt today.
Banger.
Let me introduce you to our main character, Misery Lark.
Misery Lark? Okay.
She is a vampire.
Oh, was she already a vampire at the beginning?
Yes.
Okay. Does she have purple eyes?
Yes, vampires have purple eyes. A little to know about Misery: when she was 8, her father, Councilman Henry Lark, sent her to go live in human territory.
Why does he get a normal name? He's just Henry and she has to be Misery?
I have qualms about this, just you hold on.
Oh, I'm asking the right questions, it's just too early.
So when she was 8, he actually sent her to go live in human territory because the humans and the vampires have a deal. Whoever's in charge, so it's Lark for the vampires, so he sent his daughter. They have to be related to the person in charge. For 10 years, they go live in other territory as the collateral, so that if war breaks out, hey, you piss us off, we're gonna kill your kid.
Brother, what? That's a wild start! Also, I see you with the convenient setup so that she's legal.
In this one, that is actually not an issue it has. I know. When she was 8, she was sent away.
By Misery.
So while she was there, they actually gave her a little human companion who became her best friend, and they're so close, they're basically sisters to each other.
That's like equivalent of like your stepchild moves in with you and you give them a dog.
Her name is Serena Paris.
She's brunette. That means she's a werewolf.
What?
I don't know. Books like to do that. All the vampires are either blonde or black hair, and all the werewolves have brown hair or black hair, and that's it.
When she's 18, she gets to be free now. But then they send in another vampire kid because, that's the deal. Councilman Henry Lark has with the human governor Arthur Davenport.
He looks evil too.
That's the deal her dad has with the human governor. So when she's leaving, she sees this kid, her and her best friend are getting out of there, and her best friend, leans down and is like, yo, kid, blink twice if you want us to get you out of here. And the kid is like, no, this is a privilege to be the collateral. Because that's how the vampires are.
They all act like that?
Yeah. The prologue opens with the wedding day.
Who are we marrying?
So we are marrying the new alpha of the werewolf pack.
Okay. We gotta marry the alpha.
She is getting ready, and her brother comes up. Owen. Her brother is named Owen, and her name is Misery.
Everybody gets a normal name except for her.
Yes! So that's her brother Owen, and he's like, girl, they're gonna kill you the first chance they get. And she's like, they won't, because,
Because I'm the collateral and it's a privilege.
I'm the collateral again. She's 25, and she has, ditched vampire society as a whole. So, the past 7 years, she's been living among the humans with her best friend.
Rock and roll. You go, Misery.
Also, the vampires don't like her.
Why? She did her job.
We'll get into it. So, her and Owen, her brother Owen, are walking to her father, who's gonna walk her down the aisle, obviously, and they mention there was an attempt at a cross-species wedding, hundreds of years before. There were 5 that went fine, and then the 6th one, the werewolves just all of a sudden attacked, and it was a huge bloodshed. And this is where you learn that vampires have purple blood, and werewolves have green blood.
I'm gonna need us to take a pause right there. Why? Okay, purple I can get behind. I feel like that's close enough to red. But green?
And the thing is, it doesn't make sense because both vampires and werewolves stemmed off from humans. They evolved from humans.
But how did we get to green? That doesn't make any sense. Alright. There's some things I'm just gonna have to accept.
Her dad's walking her down the aisle, and he's the one who arranged the alliance, and he's like, your new husband is dangerous. Don't cross him. Don't be stupid. And then she gets up at the altar, and it's really tense, and she's like, aw shit. Her groom leans in and is like, why the fuck do you smell like that?
Mind me for putting on perfume on my wedding day.
Sorry. And then they exchange rings and they're married. Chapter 1 starts 6 weeks before the ceremony.
Okay, we're already doing the time jumping thing, and I'm already hating it.
6 weeks before the wedding, Misery works at an office job in the human territory. She wears brown contacts to blend in. She also shaves down her fangs.
Don't do that. There are nerve endings in your teeth.
I will come back to that. Remember that. I will come back to that. But also, they will grow back, so she has to shave them pretty often.
Every day she comes home and she's filing her nails, she files her teeth.
So she's working her office job. Her coworkers know her as Missy. They think that she told them that she has a circadian rhythm disorder, so that, you know, she comes in at nights. That's why she's, you know, off schedule from everybody else, because vampires burn in the sunlight.
Yes! Finally! Okay, we kept that.
But it doesn't they don't burst into flames. It just burns them really bad. Makes them very exhausted, things like that. Like they get heat stroke immediately.
I can roll with that. I can roll with.
So while she's talking, or while one of her coworkers is talking to her, her father's right-hand woman and head of his guard, Vanya, comes in.
Wait, is she hot? I knew she was gonna be hot.
So Vanya comes in, and she says to Misery, your father has summoned you. You need to come to Vampire Headquarters, which is called The Nest.
Like spiders.
Don't get me started on the naming conventions, because they live in the city. They have The Nest.
There has never been another nest. There has never been another city.
While she's telling Misery, your father has summoned you, she, looks at Misery's coworker and, bares her fangs at this guy. He freaks out. He runs off and, hits, a vampire alarm.
What? Okay, hold on. A vampire alarm? You know, right next to the fire alarm.
Vampires aren't supposed to be in human territory.
So it's common knowledge that vampires exist.
Yes, remember the humans have to deal with the vampires.
Okay.
Vanya has a special card. She's part of a bureau where she can cross territory lines, so she can't get in trouble for this shit.
She's an ambassador.
Vanya takes Misery to the Nest. It's the tallest building in the city, and it's at the heart of vampire territory. She gets to her father's office. You know, she mentions, this is important for later. You're probably gonna forget it because...
I should be writing this down.
No, it's okay. She mentions that the windows in vampire territory are made of special expensive materials so that sunlight can be filtered in without harming the vampires. You can also see from these windows there's a river that divides the city into north and south. The north is vampire territory. Guess what the south is?
Don't say werewolves.
Werewolf territory.
Oh my god.
This is the point where I want to bring up vampires are very pale, werewolves are olive-skinned, vampires live in the north, werewolves live in the south. There's some themes going on that I don't know if they are intentional or not, but they are present.
Huh. You could have just said it was that the vampires live northeast and the werewolves live southwest. Also, wouldn't it make more sense for that to be opposite? Vampires can't control their body temperature. They probably hang out in the south because it's warm.
Right?
And werewolves, they're covered in fur.
When she meets with her father, he is telling her the current political situation.
Good old dad.
The vampires have had an alliance with the human governor, Arthur Davenport, against their common enemy, the Wares. They're not werewolves, they're the Wares.
Do they turn into other stuff, or is it just wolves?
Just wolves. There is an issue now because the humans have elected a new governor, this lady named Maddie Garcia. She refuses to meet with Councilman Lark. She does not want an arrangement with him, so that means the collateral, it's over. They're not gonna have that again.
We're saving vampire children everywhere.
Maddie does not want to honor this and is cutting ties with the vampires and meeting up with the Wares instead.
She wants a second, what'd they call it? The bloodshed? The Aster?
The Aster.
The Aster.
Apparently, when Misery was the collateral, Governor Davenport's grandson was the collateral for the vampires. So he was chill letting his family members go as that, so he and the vampires could be all buddy-buddy. Speaking of the wares, there is a situation. Some vampire boys were stupid and swam across the river into werewolf territory, and then they were taken. And of course, Misery's like, ah, damn, those dumbasses are dead, right? And the dad's like, no, they were returned unharmed. They were just like interrogated and had no useful information. So, however, this is really weird because the alpha, Roscoe,
Whose dog is this?
he is very brutal. He's like borderline evil. He wouldn't let them live. So it's like, oh shit, there's a new alpha. So the new leader is willing to have diplomatic talks with the vampires.
That is so nice of him.
So the councilman has been having talks with him. The councilman is like, and you're gonna marry him. And she's like, fuck no, I'm not gonna marry him. Thanks for thinking of me, though. Like, thanks for thinking of me once in your life. And he's like, no, you weren't even my first or second choice. Nobody else wants to do it.
I'm saying no too. Why do they get to say no?
Right? And she's like, no, I'm not doing it. And so then he tells her, you know, that's really unfortunate. Low Moreland, the new alpha.
We're going to Lowe's?
You know, he seems different. And she's like, what the fuck did you just say? And he's like, he seems different. She's like, no, what did you say? Like his name. Oh, Low Moreland. And she's like, okay, I'll get married.
She was like, I love Lowe's.
So then, chapter 2, we get into, we're back at the wedding.
Oh, stop!
Misery is talking to Governor Davenport, like, up on the rooftop or whatever, and as they're talking, she's not really listening to him because he's drunk and whatever. So she's thinking about her friend and foster sister, Serena, and she's like, you know, we were so close. She was always really interested in vampires, and we were close friends, and I haven't seen her in so long because she has disappeared. Poof.
I have a feeling
Gone.
Lowe's behind this.
And as she's thinking about her, Governor Davenport is like, yeah, you know, the were collateral that was sent to the vampires is Lowe's mate.
I didn't know there could be concubines in this marriage. Okay, I'm trading my for a new one. Like, this one's broken.
Well, because the vampires make it so that it has to be somebody important to you that you're giving up as collateral, like related to you, something. Which the councilman is pretty much cheating because he doesn't give a fuck about Misery.
Yeah, that's... Like, she's related to me. That automatically makes her important.
She decides to walk off because she's like, oh. She's like, what's a mate? And, you know, the governor's like, I guess it's like a were thing where they're like in love forever or something. And she's like, okay, so my husband is basically already married. Cool. Whatever.
Okay.
She goes looking for her brother, Owen. I will never not be mad about that.
That is so dumb.
It gets dumber.
How?
You'll see. She goes and looking for her brother because she wants to ask about this mate thing, because surely he knows something, right?
Well, when a mommy and a daddy love each other very much.
He's like buddy-buddy with their dad. That's what we're told.
Okay.
So when she's going down the stairs, she bumps into Lo, an older man, and another guy, and they're like talking about something, and she's like, ooh, I'm just gonna wait right here. I don't want to be involved, because it's like really tense. It's like a tense conversation, and she's like, I actually don't want to be involved in all that.
Me.
When the two other guys walk off, Lo is like, Misery, you can come down here. And she's like standing there and she's like, oh shit, how the hell does he know I'm here?
I was trying not to listen in, and he goes, why the fuck do you smell like that?
Well, so she's just standing there like, maybe he won't know I'm here. And he's like, you can take your own time coming down here or I'll be waiting. So she walks down, and he's like, we gotta have a first dance. Apparently it's like a very human thing to do, because the vampires and the wares, they don't really have wedding ceremonies anymore. That's like a human thing. But they're having it because they couldn't decide whose territory to do it in, who would be in charge of it, so they just had the humans be in charge of it.
Terrible decision, really. Pastels.
They're having their first dance, and he knows that she's been living under a false identity with the humans, which is typically forbidden for vampires to do. Like, pretty illegal, shouldn't really be doing that. But he also knows that she has had many assassination attempts on her for being the vampire collateral. Like, people wanted her dead.
Why? This is she's a peace tree.
It was from, like, anti-vampire groups.
Oh, okay. All right,
Yeah.
racism is alive and well.
And so he then asked her if she knows how dangerous it is. Why the hell did she agree to this? And she's like, oh, maybe I just like danger like that. But in her mind, she's thinking, my best friend's been gone a month. I'm gonna find her.
And how does this guy help her find her best friend in her mind?
We'll get there. We'll get there. It comes up in the next chapter. They make you wait 3 chapters to learn why.
I don't like this bouncing back and forth nonsense that they're doing for this. Prologue, chapter 1, prologue.
Their dance is interrupted because somebody puts a knife to Misery's throat.
That would generally stop me from dancing too.
And he stops the attack by, like, putting his hand on the blade.
Don't do that either.
So then afterwards, you know, he tells Misery that they should just stay out of each other's way because the marriage is only licensed for like a year and then they can just get out of each other's way. She's like, fine by me. So then she goes and spends her wedding night alone.
How sad.
But then in chapter 3, she's woken up by a little werechild, Anna.
Okay, another suspiciously normal name.
Anna says, I'm 7 years old.
That's not, you're not, no?
She's like, how the hell did you get in my room? And the kid's like, oh, you know, I still have a spare key because this used to be my room. You know, Lo's room is actually connected through that door. And when I had nightmares when I was younger, I would just go to him. And she's like, is he your dad? Did I marry a not-so-single dad?
Did I marry a man?
A woman comes in, Juno. She comes in, takes Anna away.
Just goes, oh, my bad.
You stay away from her. Don't ask where's about their parents because so many of them are dead because of your people. Lo's not her dad. He's her brother. Fuck off. Stay away from this kid. And she's like, whoa, she should stay away from me.
This is my bedroom. I was told to sleep here. I just woke up. I don't know what's going on. She kind of pretty, though.
Then she's left alone with just her and Serena's cat. Because Serena had adopted a cat 3 days before she went missing.
That's suspicious. What's the cat?
It doesn't have a name yet. Her friend never decided on one.
How are you gonna have a cat for 3 days and not name it?
She finally tells us that one day Serena didn't show up to do laundry together. And Misery's like, oh my god, it's because we had this huge fight. She doesn't want to be friends with me anymore. And, you know, she waited a few days, and she's like, she's on vacation. She never told me. She's not responding to texts or calls. She's not going to work. So she breaks into Serena's apartment.
Naturally.
And she goes through all her stuff. You know, she finds the cat. She feeds the cat. She's going through her planner. She's like, what the heck's going on? And the cat's playing with this balled up piece of paper. So she goes and picks it up. And on it is like a string of gibberish. And she's like, this actually looks like our childhood alphabet that we came up together so that the humans, like the human caretakers, didn't know what we were talking about.
Uh-oh.
She decodes it, and written on the paper is L.E. Moreland.
L.E.
Like Low Moreland.
Oh.
She went super deep searching into like a human government server and found a memo dated from like around the time that Serena disappeared saying Low Moreland and M. Garcia are expected to be present somewhere, security will be increased. And she's like, okay, this has to be the right track. Low Moreland, L.E. Moreland, they've got to be connected. He has to know something. And she felt certain that someone was trying to cover up their tracks because she has nothing to go on about this.
How did she get into a government server?
She did some tech work, hacking into stuff and whatever when she was a human. Stupid. That's something about her. She's a hacker.
She's not like other girls.
At her husband's house, there is a were assigned to her, and his name is Alex. Alex is assigned to show her around, and she like starts asking questions and learns that Lo's mate is some chick named Gabby or Gabrielle. You know, Alex is like, yeah, and also when it's a super powerful sign that a were can shapeshift at will or prevent shapeshifting during a full moon, and Lo is the strongest were around because he can do both those things.
So is it usually like either or?
Yes, but also it's like you can't really shapeshift at will, or like you can't stop shifting during a full moon.
Okay, word.
When she's snooping around later, because she doesn't have anybody like following her around, she's snooping around. She gets stopped by Max. He's probably like 18 years old, and he's like making it very clear he does not fuck with vampires.
I've gotten that more recently today. So, okay.
He brings up that he's surprised Lo would even marry a vampire, considering how much they took from Lo. And Misery's like, whoa, the wares have attacked my people too. And then they start arguing, and he lunges at her. And Misery manages to hold her own and bares her teeth, but then that's when Lo shows up and separates them.
She stopped filing her teeth.
I guess so.
Okay, awesome. Because otherwise it's just rah. Like, hey girl. I hate to break it. That's not scary.
Misery is telling Lo, like, hey, I was just defending myself. He jumped me. But Juno is like, you were trying to drink his blood. And she's like, well, that doesn't make sense because I have a fridge full of blood like 50 feet away, dumbass. Misery says that, Max called Lo a traitor for marrying me. Juno is like, whoa, are you implying that he's a loyalist? And Misery's like, what the fuck is a loyalist?
Not here today!
Lo is like, Juno, back the fuck off. And Misery, you need to behave yourself, okay?
What did I do?
So then after the incident, Misery is on strict surveillance and accompanied everywhere.
By Alex, who is somehow not racist?
She has a number of different wardens. Her favorite one, this guy named Mick. He's her favorite. He's actually really nice to her. He's an older guy. He's the older guy that Lo had been talking to at the wedding. But, he's really nice to her. He doesn't call her slurs, because there are slurs for vampires.
I need to hear them.
Leech. Bloodsucker.
Wow.
Stuff like that. It's usually leech.
Not impressed by these slurs.
Her brother calls to check on her.
Aww.
So Mick takes her to like a conservatory or something to talk to her brother on FaceTime or whatever, because she doesn't have a phone or a computer or anything, which makes her really upset because damn, she really likes computers. So she's talking to her brother, and we find out Misery and her brother Owen are twins.
They don't look like twins.
It mentions that. It's like, we don't really look like twins. I guess he took after my mother. He was born first. I was born 3 minutes later. And after I was born, our mom died. So that's why the council named me Misery. It says they have a natural understanding of one another, which I don't think should be true because they haven't been around each other for like 17 years. They haven't lived near each other for like 17 years.
We just get each other. We just get it.
They switch to the vampire language, which is called the tongue.
Okay.
And she's like, hey, have you found out about Serena? Because she's had him looking for her. And he's like, no, I haven't really found anything. And she's like, well, can you look up what the loyals are? And he's like, yeah, I can look into that for you. So she goes back to her room, and Anna appears again.
Get out of my room, child!
And she's like, how the hell did you get in? And she's like, yeah, they took my key, but I came in through the window.
Brother, who even are you? Juno!
She's talking with Anna, and Anna mentions her cat, which is actually Serena's cat, but she has named her cat. Are you ready for this?
Don't be something stupid.
She has named the cat
Sprinkles.
Sparkles.
No way! Sprinkles! Anna, we're in the middle of a political war.
But then Anna mentions that Lo is gone for the night. And also that he doesn't sleep much because he has pneumonia.
I don't think that means what she thinks it means, because she's 7.
So, using a hairpin, Misery breaks into Lo's room. She's like rifling through all his stuff.
Using a hairpin?
And
How did you get these skills? Have you been to jail?
so she actually finds, hidden away, a notebook, a sketchbook that has a bunch of architectural sketches in it. Along with that, she finds a sketch of herself.
Okay.
Here's what I'm asking. Did he draw it from a picture? Did he draw it from memory? And also, she finds tissues and lotion in his room. Is he jorking it to the sketch he drew of her?
Or is he jorking it to his architectural designs?
That's fair.
Jorking it for the buildings. This one goes up buildings everywhere.
Ew. So the next day, she's stuck in her room, and she looks outside and noticing there's a gathering of wares out front. They're having a cookout, and she wasn't invited. So in my notes I wrote, damn, not invited to the cookout? They really don't fuck with her.
They think she's racist. Joke's on them, they're the ones being racist. She took out here.
So they're all hanging out by the lake, they're grilling, having a good time, and Lo and Anna are both out there. But then she notices Max going up to speak to Anna, and he's like pointing and she's shaking her head, and then he takes her hand and starts walking into the woods with her. And Misery is like, nobody else noticed? Nobody else noticed?
Please don't be imprinting or some Twilight level.
She's like, something weird's going on. So she runs outside and is like burning up, running into the woods, calling out for Anna. And when she's like, stop, Max, stop, a bunch of wares come out from the trees. And they all take them all inside. Max is tied up. And Lo and Juno and some of his other seconds are there. And they're questioning him and Misery. They say, Max, we know you were trying to abduct Anna. And Misery's like, how do you know that? And also, when I said he was attacking me, why didn't you believe me? And Lo's like, I never said I didn't believe you.
I just said calm down.
They knew all along that he was working with the Loyalists. And they were following Max to see where he would go and who he would take Anna to.
Let the kid go! They were gonna let him take the kid! Collateral.
So then when they're trying to talk to him and question him, he's not talking. So they're about to resort to punching him in the face. And Misery's like, no, wait! I can help. There's another way. Vampires have this power called the Thrall, where if they look into your eyes, they can, like, hook into your brain and compel you to do things.
Okay, I like that.
She's not very good at it because she grew up among humans. So she's like, you're gonna need to hold him still for this to work. So she looks at him, she's like putting him in this state of hypnosis, and then she's like, what were you doing? And in his hypnotized state, he's like, I was bringing her to the Loyalists to use as leverage and to force Lo to step down from being alpha. He's like, but I don't know who it was, I don't know. And they're like, do you think it was Emery?
I don't even know who it was. Was it Emery? Who's Emery? What's going on?
Emery was the old alpha's mate. The crazy alpha.
So, wait, we can be gay?
Emery's a woman.
Sorry. I was excited. I was like, yeah, gay people!
But Max is like, I think it's Emery that's in charge of this, but I never spoke to her directly. I don't even know who I was talking to. Because he's like a kid. He's like 18. He shouldn't be involved in all this.
Not even a little.
So at this point, they're like, Misery, go back to your room while we finish questioning. And she's like, well, damn, I wanted to hear the rest of this.
I was getting invested.
She takes the opportunity to continue to try to snoop around Lo's office.
She's just getting bolder and bolder.
So she gets in, and she's like, I'm gonna get on his computer, I'm gonna find out if he knows anything about Serena disappearing, and so she's hacking into it and is running some code when something brushes against her leg, and she's like, Sparkles, not now. And she looks down, it's not Sparkles! It's a wolf!
What?
It's a gray wolf.
It's Lo.
Oh shit. Gray wolf. Oh no. It's not Lo. It's his second pal.
Uh-oh. Is he the other dude that he was talking to Lo at the wedding?
Yes.
Okay.
Lo is there now, and he's like, well, what the hell were you doing in my office? And Misery, like, doesn't want to say, And then Lo threatens to interpret this as a sign of aggression from the vampires. And she's like, okay, whoa, okay.
Hey, I act on my own, okay?
Literally, she's like, they don't know anything. I wasn't transferring any data back to wherever. And it turns out Alex, the guy that was like showing her around, he's the IT guy who like set up the infrastructure. And she, like, the whole time she was trying to break into it, she was like, damn, I really want to thank and like congratulate the person who set this up because it's really good. It's like giving me a challenge.
But she's too good for that. She's too good at hacking.
Yeah, but she's like, look, I wasn't transferring data, so they bring Alex in, and he's like, yeah, there's no transfer protocol. She wasn't sending any data. So then Misery's like, look, Lo, I'm looking for my friend, Serena, and I'm convinced you took her.
I get the feeling this is your fault. And he's like, we've been married for like a day.
And she's like, look, I found the name L.E. Moreland in her planner and the date that she disappeared. And Juno, while they're talking, calls for Anna, Liliana Esther Moreland, L.E. Moreland. And Misery's like, oh shit, maybe Serena, who was a journalist, was interested in Anna for some reason, and it wasn't Lo who took her.
That doesn't make any sense, though. Why would she write down, yeah, I'm gonna go investigate this small child, la 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 la.
In code.
In code! In their code. Only their code. Was it like a, haha, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but tee hee hee, whatever?
You'll see.
Oh my god.
At the kitchen table, Lo and Misery sit down, and Lo is like, look, I'm gonna tell you the truth about Anna, but you have to be tight-lipped about this. There's only 3 people in the world who know about this. Me, Juno, and Cal. Nobody else knows. But I trust you. First of all, why do you trust her? She broke into your office. It later comes out that he knows she broke into his bedroom because he could smell her all over.
He's just like, you're a snoop. I like that.
Right? But also, he's like, I trust you, and I can tell when you're lying because wares can smell when people are lying.
Okay, I'll buy it, whatever.
So he tells her, Anna and I share the same mother, who was a were. However, Anna's father was a human, which shouldn't be possible because mixing species is unheard of.
Is that why she's 7?
He explains it. She's 7. She's 7 because her birthday's in a few days.
Oh.
And she's turning 7. So Lo tells her, you know, I became the alpha of this pack, which is the largest one in North America, because Roscoe was a tyrant, he was very cruel, and Roscoe already viewed him as a threat, and Anna being half human and his sister made it very dangerous for her. So he was like, we gotta get this Roscoe guy out of here, because he like had a no tolerance policy and would just wipe out whoever.
Good lord.
Lo and Anna's mother was actually one of his seconds and was killed for publicly disagreeing with him.
Just go, nah, I'm not really a big fan of peanut butter. And he's like, we're dogs. We're supposed to love peanut butter.
Funny you bring up peanut butter.
What?
It is important.
I gotta write this down.
Finally, Lo is like, I challenged Roscoe, because unlike vampires, it's not like a familial thing, a familial line that gets to be in charge. It's whoever's the strongest. And so I fought Roscoe, killed him, and also fought some other seconds who challenged me, beat them too, and now I'm the alpha. So while he's talking, Misery sneaks some of his peanut butter, because he's making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. She sneaks some peanut butter and eats it, and he's like, did you just fucking eat peanut butter? Because vampires don't eat.
They only drink blood?
Yeah.
Okay.
Misery's like, look, living with Serena, she made me try it, and now I just really, really like it, okay? It's a treat once in a while, okay?
I know I'm not supposed to, but I just can't help myself.
Alex has actually been instructed to help Misery look for leads for Serena. So they're trying to dig up potential leads. Later, actually, Juno comes in and is like, look, Misery, I'm sorry for the way I treated you and the way I was yelling at you and claiming all these things about you. I know you probably can't forgive me, but I hope one day we can be cordial to each other at the very least. You know, my alpha trusts you, so I trust you. And, I just wanted to apologize. And she's naked while she's doing this because she just, like, shifted back from wolf form.
I accept your apology, all two of you.
Yeah.
Like, whoa! Get off my balcony.
Yeah. And she's like, it doesn't bother you to be naked while we're talking? And she's like, no, does it bother you? And she's like, I guess not.
Wouldn't bother me, I mean.
Vampires only have to drink a bag of blood a day.
How much is a bag?
I guess it's like a pint.
A pint a day? That's it?
So she goes to her fridge that's full of blood bags, and there's a jar of peanut butter in her fridge.
Oh, wait, I kind of like this love interest guy. He's doing his best.
Yeah, I liked him too.
Oh no. No! Don't tell me his mate's 2 years old.
He's not Jacob. Chapter 12, the days are going by smoothly. Misery has actually hung out with Juno a few times. They're like getting along fine.
Rock and roll.
And she goes into Lo's office with Alex. And at one point she goes in there and Alex is playing Grand Theft Auto. That exists in this universe?
I gotta play this version of Grand Theft Auto. Werewolves and vampires are common knowledge, meaning they can be NPCs in this game. Oh, hell yeah. I like that.
She goes into Lo's office with Alex, and Lo is there too, and Alex is trying to teach him some stuff on the computer, and he's a real dunce when it comes to computers.
Oh, what an idiot.
And he's like, well, what the hell? Why can't I click it like this? And he's like, that's not how it works. And she's like, damn, I'm surprised you can even turn the damn thing on. You suck so bad.
You know what? Real. Good.
Alex is really concerned that he's not getting this. Like, Lo is not picking up what he's trying to teach him. Real concerned about it. And Lo is like, look, you could just guide me over the phone. And Misery's like, what are we trying to do here? But before she can ask, Mick comes in and is like, hey, Anna cooked us all dinner, and she wants us to all be down there. And so Misery attends as well, even though she doesn't eat. It's being nice. She always complains about caring about the kid, but she talks to the kid in not a nice way. I hate the way she talks to this kid. This is a 6-year-old, almost 7, and the way that she's speaking to her is so rude. Like, I get you're not around kids a lot, but come on, have some compassion.
She's like, well, this is how my dad talked to me, and I turned out fine.
At the dinner, they talk about how vampires don't celebrate birthdays, and they're like, well, how the hell do you keep track of how old you are? And they're like, I guess when the new year comes, that's another year. Anna is like, you don't celebrate birthdays? My birthday's coming up. We should throw you a party, too.
Oh.
And Misery's like, I guess if you want.
Misery, this kid is offering to share her birthday with you.
So Lo then brings up how he's going to go see Emery.
Oh.
Because she's the one that they suspect is trying to lead a rebellion against Lo. And the others around him are so concerned that it's going to be too dangerous. And they're like, Lo, don't even go. It's going to be too dangerous. You can't go alone. It's probably a trap. But Lo's like, no, I'm going. This needs to be done. It'll be fine.
Does Misery go with him?
Eventually, yeah.
Yippee!
When Misery and Lo are alone again, she's like, hey, if you meet Emery, then let me go with you so you're not alone because you're literally tech illiterate and we can plant some spyware. And I know how to do that real easy. But you're stupid with computers and can't figure it out.
You're dumb. Let me come with.
And he's like, no, it's too dangerous. And then he starts telling her about his history. He actually lived in Switzerland for a while and was studying architecture. And he talks about how in Switzerland, humans and werewolves get along just fine. Even vampires are out living around, though they don't really tend to socialize with other people. But then one day, he got news that his mother had opposed Roscoe and Anna was now unprotected. So then he immediately hopped on a plane, and 12 hours later, he was back in the territory and his mother was dead.
Not a good way to be welcome home from Switzerland.
Lo challenged Roscoe. He was forced to fight Roscoe's seconds, and he didn't want to kill him.
I do.
He's not like other wares. He doesn't want to kill him to death.
I am. Let me do it.
Out of all the seconds he was forced to fight, only Mick decided that he was going to accept Lo as Alpha.
You go, Mick.
So that's why Mick is still around. His wife and child, who was 16, are now dead. They think it was some kind of confrontation with humans, so Mick is alone now, which would explain why him and Misery get along so well, because they feel
a kinship. I love that.
Misery asks him, you mentioned a mate, like, what's a mate? Like, can you explain that to me? Because I've heard it, I don't really know what it means. And he's like, they're like the person you're meant for, and the one that is meant for you. It physiologically changes who you are when you find your mate. Scent is a large part of it, but not everyone has a mate. And plenty of where couples are together, but not mates. You know, the marks you see on Mick, they're mate marks because they mark each other by biting one another, and it's very important to the process. So, because he shared a little about himself, she's like, okay, I'll share a little about me. She's like, me and Serena, we had a really big fight before she disappeared. It had been over an exciting and challenging job opportunity that Serena had thought Misery should go for, but Misery just wasn't interested. And so Serena got mad and was like, you're being aimless. I just want you to care for something in your life that is outside of me. You know, I want you to actually live. You were a collateral for 10 years. I want you to have a life.
You need to live. Live!
So at the end of the conversation, Lo is like, okay, Misery, you can come with me to go visit Emery.
How did that convince him?
I don't remember. You can come with me. However, I'm gonna have to mark you so that they really think we're a thing and don't try to kill you.
Scene!
He flies a little dinky plane over.
He can fly a plane, but he can't work a computer?
That don't make sense.
Okay. Alright, he's a freak.
He flies them, and there's like a group of were waiting for them, and Lo is like, okay, in order to make this clear that you aren't to be harmed, I'm gonna have to scent you and make you smell like me to everybody else. And it'll send a message that you're part of my pack and you're not to be fucked with. And she's like, okay. And Lo is like, look, I'm gonna have to rub my scent glands on you and lick you. And she's like, okay, but will my smell bother you? Because he's mentioned her smell a few times, you know, like, I smelled you in my room. You know, you really thought I wouldn't know you went in there. You know, why the fuck do you smell like that at the wedding? So she, like, takes baths. A lot of baths.
I'd get self-conscious too.
She's like, I'm sorry I smell so bad to you.
And he's like, no, it smells great.
It's such a distinctive smell, and I love it so much. Oh. Whoa. She agrees to let him scent her. She's like, okay, this seems like a kind of thing that needs to happen.
Sure, why not? And he's like, alright, hold still. Let me get the peanut butter.
So he starts scenting her, which is like, he has to rub his scent glands on her neck, which is like his neck and face and whatever. And they're kind of getting a little into it. They're getting a little too into it for comfort.
Well, they're married.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It was uncomfortable to read, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, he's touching my neck. Ah!
She's like getting turned on by it.
He's just rubbing his face on you, bro.
And he tells her, you know, I fucking love your scent. That's a quote. And, you know, of course, in my notes I write, pervert! Pervert!
What a freak. I fucking love your scent.
It's perfect. So it says, first a delicate bite on my earlobe, then the swipe of his tongue at the base of my jaw. Last, right as I'm thinking that this is different from what I thought scenting would be, he moves to the bottom of my throat and sucks. So Misery, thing about Misery, she's a virgin. Lo is not. So of course we get to have that dynamic.
Okay.
So anyways, they do that, and he's like, was that too much? And she's like, no, it's fine.
They bang in the plane?
They just got a little steamy and heated in the plane.
Oh, okay. I was like, in the plane? That's great. That's awesome. I was so excited for them. I was like, yay.
So they get off the plane, and Emery's there, and Misery's like, this looks like just a nice middle-aged woman. Like, she doesn't look as evil as they say that she is.
That's Owen and drag.
And they all have dinner together, and afterwards, Misery and Lo get to their room, and they have to share a bed. Oh my god, there's only one bed.
Well, because you're married.
And so they're talking about what happened on the plane, and Lo is like, you know, I should have warned you, scenting is intrinsically sexual and sensual. And I've never done scenting before, but I should have warned you. And she's like, well, what about, you know, you have a mate, right? He's like, yeah, I have a mate, but it's not reciprocated. And she's like, damn.
So she's his mate, but he's not her mate? That's so sad.
So then she's getting ready for bed, and he's like, yeah, you can go to sleep. I'm not gonna sleep. I have insomnia. And she's like, insomnia? Anna said you had pneumonia.
Oh my god, Anna.
And he's like, I only sleep every few days. Anna used to have the same thing. but I used to like scratch her scalp and it would put her to sleep. So Misery starts doing that to him and he falls asleep. And I'm like, okay, that's nice and all. However, you are in enemy territory.
If there's any time to not sleep, it is now.
Why would you try that in enemy territory
In enemy territory is crazy.
with people that you think want him dead?
Not looking good on you, Misery.
So the next day, Lo spends the morning with Cohen. Cohen is like his mentor figure. The original Alpha sent Lo away because he was like, when he was like 12, because he could already feel that Lo was going to be an issue for him. So he sent him away to go live with Cohen in another pack. And him and Cohen are really close. So Cohen has actually offered to distract Emery because it turns out Emery is Cohen's aunt.
How does this family tree work out?
So when Emery actually sees Cohen and Lo together, it's like they have like a father figure or an older brother dynamic going on. At dinner that night, Misery notices that there's a guest wearing a vial of what looks like vampire blood on a necklace.
Which, as a vampire, was not threatening to her at all. It was just so casual.
But then the next time she sees him, he's not wearing it. And it's implied that Lo spoke with him and was like, "You're not gonna wear that around my wife, you son of a bitch."
Good answer. Good answer.
At this dinner, they have a plan. Misery and Lo excuse themselves and they're like, well, Misery needs to feed. And instead of going to get some blood bags, they sneak away into Emery's office and they find her computer there. Misery's setting it all up and then it's like it just needs a few more minutes, so they're waiting around. But then they hear guards coming. And she's like, oh my god, Lo, you have to kiss me. Just kiss me right now. And he's like, that's not a good excuse. That's not believable at all. You have to suck my neck and drink from me.
That's not believable.
The distraction works. The guards walk in and they're like, oh, sorry, we'll leave. So then, while she's feeding on Lo, they're getting a little steamy with it.
Again, with the, like, weird, like, this is something I biologically have to do, and you find this incredibly arousing. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Because it's the first time feeding on a real living person, because usually they just have, like, donation blood bags and stuff, it's hard for her to let go. And also, they're very turned on. If I remember correctly,
Oh no.
he starts doing something good for her while she's feeding on him.
Touching her?
Oh yeah.
They're just, like, way too into each other.
But the way it's written, I couldn't tell if it was just that or like full on. So she's like feeding on him and he's like, take more of my blood, take more. He's really into it.
Oh!
He is really into it. He's like about to explode down there, if you get my drift.
From being bitten? So they're in a room. She's drinking out of his neck. They're dry humping.
Yep. So then Emery walks in and is like, oh shit, can you guys like stop that for a second? And so she's there. Yeah, she's like, what are you doing in my office? And they're like, the door was unlocked, we just needed a private room. And she's like, I can see why. So then Cohen is there and is like, hey, Cal called. You need to go back home tonight instead of tomorrow because something is wrong with Anna.
Oh.
So they book it back. And also, I would like to tell you, so many times this plot cox blocks these characters.
Yeah, that's a little odd.
It happens more than once. From the plot itself.
That's the real enemy territory.
So they go back. Apparently, after they left, Anna started not feeling well, and she's been shivering and vomiting. And Wares don't get sick. So it's her human side.
She got a stomach bug. She's fine.
And because Wares don't get sick, they don't know what to do.
Tell me vampires don't get sick either.
They don't, but Misery's like, hey, I know what you can get that might help her. I lived with Serena. I'll just go and find something. They're like, no. Lo's like, no, I'll go. Just tell me what you need me to get. And Mick is like, hey, maybe we should actually take her into human territory to get help. And Misery's like, no, I've lived with humans. just get this. This is what always helps Serena. So Lo goes out. While he's gone, Misery is like, hey, Alex, I need you to get a list of humans that were part of the Human Were Bureau, because it's like, Alex doesn't know about Anna being half human. But she's like, okay, if a were and a human were to meet, how would that happen? It would probably be through the Human Were Bureau.
That makes sense.
So, like, look them up, see who was living, like, working there, like, 8 years ago, find all the males that were doing that. And he's like, why? And she's like, Lo just needs this information. And he's like, okay, my alpha says so. Lo brings back medicine, they give it to her. And when she's giving it to Anna, she's like, stop bitching and take it.
Bro, she's
what do you mean?
6. She's 7.
She's a baby. She's just like a baby. You're gonna talk to her like this?
Who talked to you like that made you think that was okay?
While Lo is staying with Anna, he like doesn't leave her side. Misery goes and calls her brother, and she's like, hey, what happens if a vampire drinks from somebody? And Owen's like, you drank from your husband, didn't you?
Immediate.
She shouldn't do it again because there are complex attachments that form from repeated feeding. I wonder why, because they're getting all crazy sexual on each other.
That's probably why there's like all these intimate feelings going on, because she's eating him.
So when she sees Lowe's again, he's like, hey, you're attempting to track down Anna's father. And she's like, hey, so that's actually because I think somehow Serena developed interest in Anna to write something, but somebody would have had to tell her. Maybe that person was Anna's father, because who else would know? Because the mom did tell the father, but the father was like, not possible.
That's not gonna happen.
They're in the kitchen and Misery's eating the peanut butter he left for her. And he's like, hey girl, thanks for what you did for Anna, and also, I kind of like you a lot. And she's like, oh, that's crazy. I might also like you too. They're about to kiss. They're about to... She feels sudden painful agony and faints.
Again, cock blocked, but also... What?
For the next few hours, she is in constant pain. Like, writhing pain. So much so that they called the vampire doctor. And he explains that Misery was poisoned.
Lo! What else has she eaten other than peanut butter? It's Lo.
To deal with it, her body is gonna have to enter a healing trance where she'll appear dead. But she's really okay, she'll just appear dead. And the doctor tells them that they're gonna have to tell her dad about this.
Why? It ain't his business.
Yeah, but also she is the collateral for the vampires and somebody tried to kill her.
Oh yeah.
So Lo is like, okay, we're gonna take Anna away because she had to have been the target because they poisoned peanut butter. Nobody else knows that Misery eats peanut butter.
Well, that could also be an attempt on Lo's life.
Could be, but he is like, Anna has to go away, so they send Anna away. When Misery wakes up, there is a large white wolf guarding her door.
Why is he white?
Oh my god, Karen, you can't just ask people why they're white.
And she looks into its eyes and she's like, is that you, Lo? Because I forgot to mention, but he has green eyes. So pale green, they're almost blue. Don't know how that's possible, but so green. And the wolf has the same eyes. And the wolf is herding her back into her room. Misery falls asleep on the bed, which is unusual. She usually sleeps in the closet because the window's in the room. And it just is easier for her to sleep in there. I guess it's more comfortable. She cuddles up next to the wolf and falls asleep.
And then she wakes up with horrible sunburns all over her body.
So she goes downstairs when she finally wakes up, and Lo tells her that she's been knocked out for like 5 days.
How's Anna doing? Is Anna okay?
Anna was sent away to go live with Cohen while they figure out what the hell's going on.
Okay.
Someone poisoned the peanut butter, and he says that war with the vampires came close to breaking out because of it.
And of course, our main character was KO'd for all the fun stuff.
So then Lo is like, hey, we're actually gonna move you somewhere else for your safety. And she's like, no, I would be safer with you, obviously. Because, he has told her this whole time, like, you're my wife, I will take care of you, it is my duty, all of that. And she's like, you said so yourself. And he's like, fine. And when they're alone, start getting a little steamy in the closet.
In the closet!
In the closet, But then Owen calls and they have to stop. And Owen is like, yo, you need to come home. And she's like, no.
I'm kind of in the middle of something, Owen.
He like tells them, hey, you guys need to like fuck it out of your system. Cut it out.
Damn, okay, relax.
And then he tells her that Serena's apartment was broken into 3 days ago. And she's like, was anything stolen? And he's like, we can't tell because it's such a mess in there.
Well, I'll tell you, it wasn't me that broke in this time because I was asleep.
And so he's like, I also want to talk to you about something else, but we need to do it in person. And Lo is like, yeah, we can arrange that. We can arrange you talking in person. Now that she has recovered from peanut butter poisoning,
Naturally.
Alex tells her that they found a connection between someone at the Human Wear Bureau and Serena, who is named Thomas Jalakas. So it turned out Serena had emailed him and met with him. So they can't find any records of him working at the Bureau, but he has it on his CV. So he did work there. There's just no records.
That sounds like a cover.
Yeah. And Lo says that he is pretty certain that that's Anna's father based on his picture. However, he died in a car accident 2 weeks after Serena disappeared.
Serena has to be killing people.
Well, Lo says that he knows Governor Davenport was the one who appointed him to his job, so he has to know something. So, Lo got them an invitation to have dinner with the governor at the governor's place.
How? You just call him up and you're like, hey, I hungry.
I guess.
I don't know how official people do that.
I swear they got freaky again. I swear they did. Let me double check.
And they got interrupted again. Biting and Cock blocks the book.
Oh! He's so horny about her feeding from him. He's like, I want you to feed from me again. He like takes the blood bag she's gonna have and he's like, no, I don't want you to eat that. And she's like, I'm gonna fucking die if I don't eat. And he's like, no. Feed from me.
Perfect!
And they're starting to get a little freaky. And then she's like, oh, I don't know, it might leave a trace. And he says, you think I mind? You think I mind if you leave a little teeth mark in my neck?
I mind. I'm not even there and I feel violated. What?
Oh, up against the fridge, he's like, please, I just want you to feed from me, and I just want you. And he takes her upstairs into his room, and he's like, I didn't change the sheets for the longest time because they smelled like you.
Bro, that's a cleanliness issue.
They're getting into it. She's like, wait, do you have a condom? He's like, we don't need a condom. And I was like, wait.
Slow down.
She had the same reaction because she goes, well, your sister exists and she's half were, half human. We don't know what could happen. He's like, well, I'm not gonna put it in. And she's like, well, why not?
So you hate me. So you hate me and you want me to die.
And this is where we learn what nodding is.
Oh my god. Okay. We learn about nodding. And he's like, yep.
He nods in her hand.
Ew!
And she's like, oh my god, this is so weird, but also, wow. And I'm like, help. Help me. Help me. I can't. So, chapter 23, they're looking for a gift to get for the governor for dinner. And they start bickering about it. And I was like, whoa, is this a third act breakup? We're about to have the third act breakup over a gift for a guy you don't even like? No. Lo is like, wait, we don't even like him. Do we even care what we get? She's like, no, I guess you're right. So they just pick up some item. And so they go to the governor's for dinner. Again, they put a plate of food in front of her, even though she doesn't eat.
And Davenport's supposed to know that. Like, he made deals with vampires. You know this.
So Davenport and his wife are sitting there. The wife's really quiet. Davenport keeps trying to bring up touchy subjects, but Misery and Lo, they don't take the bait. And then after some general conversations, Lo brings up his mother and brings up the conversation about Thomas and is like, oh, she had to know somebody, you know, like this Thomas guy, someone she worked closely with. And he's like, yeah, too bad he died in a car accident. But, you know, he got around, if you know what I'm saying.
Just calling his little sister's dad a whore at the dinner.
Lo snaps, grabs him by the neck, pushes him against the wall, and is like, I can tell you're lying when you say that, oh, it was just a car accident, you don't really know what happened. I can smell that you're lying. And he's like, okay, okay. He'd been talking to a journalist about embezzling some of my administration's money, so I had to have him killed. You have to understand.
For embezzling funds or for telling people he did it?
Governor Davenport is under the impression that Thomas was telling a reporter about Davenport embezzling funds. He's the one squealing.
Buddy.
They leave after that, and Lo is like, yeah, we've been monitoring Davenport, and Misery's like, but I don't think it makes sense that Serena would be working on a story about financial misdeeds if she took interest in Anna. Because, like, where would Anna fit into all that? So Lo's like, okay, what if Serena found out about Anna from someone else and told Thomas about it? And then maybe Serena realized at some point that she was being targeted by the governor and she needed to disappear. And Misery's like, she would not have left without telling me anything. And Lo's like, for sure. And starts, like, getting in her head about it. And I'm like, if this is your best friend of, like, 17 years?
Yeah, she would have told you, bruh.
So then Lo's like, okay, we're actually gonna go meet with Owen. When Owen gets out, Gabby gets out too. Lo's mate. Owen and Gabby have been, you know, living in the same space, the same as Lo and Misery, but Owen's like, we haven't been fucking though.
I mean, if you want to, you can. Like, he's not mine.
Owen's like, well, we're not fucking, we actually have been productive together. Owen tells Misery that he's actually disagreed with their father's decisions lately, and he plans on having a coup to overthrow their dad.
I think he's full of it. He's been pro Councilman Lark this whole story. Ain't no way he just randomly switches up.
Well, he told he's like, Misery, I want your support on this. And Misery's like, no, you're not going to do this. One, you're going to get accused of treason. Two, you can't just decide randomly one day you're going to do this. And he's like, I didn't decide just one day. I decided 3.5 months ago when father made you the collateral again. And then she's like, oh, maybe you're not as bad as a brother as I thought you were. And I'm like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Willing to stage a coup.
And he's like, I want to completely dismantle the collateral system. I want to have alliances that we negotiate that aren't based on maybe killing somebody's family member. Crazy idea. I know.
Revolutionary thinking, bro.
So then Misery is like, maybe he isn't brainwashed like everybody else.
Maybe he's not straight up evil.
Like, you didn't think that when he offered to help you find your best friend?
Nah.
Lo is talking to Gabby and, like, Misery's listening, and he doesn't know anything about this chick. Misery's like, oh my god, she's not your mate.
She can be his mate and he doesn't know things.
That's fair. While they're in human territory still, Misery's like, oh, my apartment that I used to live in is around here, and he's like, oh, I want to stop and see it.
He just wants to smell things. Do not believe a word he says. He's gonna try to get freaky.
So they're there, and he, like, has to take a minute to go in, because he's like, it just smells so much like you, I just need a minute. And she's, like, looking around, and she's like, man, based off of his place and living there, my place looks so sterile and so empty. Like, this is not what I would choose for myself anymore. And so she's like, hey, Gabby really isn't your mate, is she? And he's like, you got me! She's not my mate. We lied about her being a mate because your father required the collateral and I didn't want to do it. And when I was telling my seconds about it, Gabby was like, oh, I'll go in.
Oh, shit!
Gabby chose to do it. He didn't make her. And the collateral is usually, like, blood relative. But he wasn't going to give Anna up.
No.
So they pretended to be mates and told the vampires, like, hey, a mate's is, like, close enough for a blood relationship. You know, I don't really have anybody else, so they bought it. So then they get freaky up against a wall, and this time they actually have sex.
Why is Misery letting that happen? She already learned what a knot was.
Well, they're doing it, and she's like, I kind of want you to not. He's like, I'm gonna, my pull-out game is gonna be super strong. And it is! He doesn't knot inside her.
Good for you, though.
But her first time having penetrative sex is up against her kitchen wall.
And she doesn't even live there anymore.
That's her first time?
Well, it was either the plane, the closet, some lady's office, or here. So, I was still voting for the plane.
Or his bed. They were in his bed a few chapters ago.
Nah, that's boring.
So afterwards, Misery is like, if Gabby's not your mate, am I your mate? He's like, I'm sorry I gave you the wrong idea. Don't use werewolf words that you don't understand. And he's like getting in her face about it. And I was like, whoa.
Relax, bro. Just asking a question.
And he like makes her cry and she's like, gets a phone call and he's like, I gotta go. Mick's gonna come pick you up. Just stay away from me for a while. And she is heartbroken.
Yeah, because they just banged against her kitchen wall. And then she's like, so like, do you love me? And he's like, don't use that word. Relax! Why we gotta be hurting people's feelings, Lo? Okay, alright. Lo is losing points. Alright, Lo. I thought we were cool.
Mick comes to pick her up. She's like, hey, Mick. And he's like, hey, girl. I'm really sorry. And she's like, oh, you heard. It's, this mate thing. And then he sticks her in the neck with a syringe. And she passes out.
I knew that motherfucker was still gonna be loyal to Roscoe!
Right? When I first read this, I was like, something feels off, because especially when he was like, no, don't go in to get Anna this medicine from human territory. I was like, that's suspicious.
He was one of Roscoe's seconds, and he was like, no, I submit to the new guy. I'm gonna kill you!
When Misery wakes up, she realizes the person shaking her awake is Serena.
Oh my god! Well, that's one problem solved, but a couple new ones.
Well, they're locked up in this place, and somehow Misery is like, we're in an attic. That's where we are. There's no windows anywhere. How do you know you're in an attic? My first thought would be, oh my god, they locked me in a basement.
The air pressure. The air pressure is exactly...
So, Serena has been in this room since she was abducted 3 months ago. This is where she's been the whole time.
Whose attic is...
Misery is like, I've been looking for you the whole time, and Serena was like, I really thought after our fight you wouldn't be looking for you. How bad of friends are you guys?
Yeah, why are you guys evil to each other?
You think your best friend of 17 years wouldn't be looking for you?
17 years, guys. Not once have you been like, yeah, if I went missing, she'd look for me.
Misery tells her, I pieced it all together, I know what happened, and Serena's like, yeah, I have been reporting on financial crimes related to Davenport, and I ended up learning about Anna and being a half-were, and I got abducted, and so they're like, okay, we need to get out of here.
You know what? Serena needed her own book. That's way more interesting than all this nodding.
Or even Owen.
Yeah, how did we get from step 1 to coup?
Serena suggests that Misery grabs the guy who comes and brings food and like put him in a thrall and let him out. Because this is a werewolf holding them hostage. And she tries, but they fail. But they do grab onto his hand, and I think Serena like starts bending his fingers back. It's like, I'm gonna do this to all of them if you don't let us out. So she's bending his fingers back, and he's like, okay, and he opens the door, and they shove him inside. And Misery is like, okay, let's run. They're running down, and then she's like, wait a damn minute. This is the nest.
The vampire nest!
Yes!
Wait, why are there werewolves in the vampire nest? Owen!
So as they're running towards the exit, Vanya finds them. And no! She's too old for you!
Sorry.
Vanya stops them, and she's like, you're coming with me, and brings her to her father's office. And Mick is waiting beside him.
Mick, no!
Her father's like, yeah, we captured Mick's son in a raid. He's not really dead. We have him captive, and we've been holding him captive. We thralled We thralled Mick. We thralled Mick to make sure he cooperates and his son isn't killed. So Misery is like, what the fuck?
What the hell is going on? Why are you guys like that?
And the father's like, well, this is necessary for survival. You know how it is. Because his whole deal is you work for the many, not the few. You make sure the vampires are good. So he's always like calling her selfish and stuff. And she's like, well, you're selfish. You're like doing all this so you stay in power.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Her dad, this whole time, was trying to ensure that weres and humans are at odds with each other so that they can't leverage the werewolf's strengths and the humans' numbers against the vampires. Because vampires' numbers are dwindling.
I think he's using his noodle here.
Councilman Lark knows about the were-human hybrid, and he sees it as a threat because if it was known that weres and humans could reproduce, it would encourage them to be allies with each other, and he don't want that. But then he's like, yeah, I learned about this half-were, half-human child 2 decades ago.
She's 7. How did you know?
2 decades ago, he learned that there was a half-were, half-human child from Governor Davenport.
Was not. I knew it! I knew it! Yes! It's a werewolf! She's brunette. That means she's a werewolf.
He's like, yeah, she didn't know about it until she got older and started, like, her body was changing, and she was like, what the fuck is going on with me? And started digging around. Couldn't have that. And so Misery's like, you knew you were half-were for, like, a year before you disappeared and you didn't tell me? And Serena's like, well, yeah, you know, you always talk so bad about wares, and I didn't want you to think that about me. The reason Serena was brought to be Misery's friend during the Collateral years is he knew she was half-were and wanted to keep an eye on her. So then he says Thomas had been working with the Human Were Bureau and started looking into his little fling and saw a picture of Anna and Lo's mom and suspected that that was his daughter. And he brought it to Davenport's attention, and Davenport promoted him and was like, hey, just drop the matter. But Thomas only got more obsessed with it. Because he got more obsessed with it, Councilman Lark intervened, thralled Governor Davenport, and made him kill Thomas. It made him think that Davenport was thinking of this on his own for all these crimes, but no, it was because he wanted him out of the picture, because he was getting too nosy. So then, Lo is marched in handcuffs, and Owen is marching him in.
Traitorous bitch!
Councilman Lark wants Lo to hand over Anna, so that they, one, have something on him, and two, so that they can hide Anna. And Lo's like, no! And he's like, I know how to make you hand her over. And he grabs his own daughter, holds a blade to her neck, and is like, well, how about now that your mate's life is in trouble? And he's just staring, and Misery, like, starts laughing, and she's like, I'm not his mate, dumbass.
Obviously not. He literally yelled at me when I recommended the idea.
She's like, tell him, Lo, tell him that I'm not your mate. And he's like, not looking at her. 'Cause he lied! He lied!
Why is this guy always lying?
I'm really your mate, and we'll handle that in a minute. And Serena's like, starts talking to her in this garbled nonsense.
Humana, 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 humana.
Somehow she's vocalizing the alphabet they made as kids to hide stuff. And she tells her, hey, your dad's wrong about me not being able to shift. I can shift into a wolf.
Do it now! Isn't that ability unlocked by being super powerful as a werewolf? Like, being able to shift on command? She's not just the half-human, half-wolf hybrid princess. She is also really strong.
Yes. Misery is telling Lo, she's like, let him kill me. Let him kill me. Don't hand over Anna. Think of me from time to time. Hey, and tell Anna that thing she really wants to do but can't, shifting, she'll grow into it when she's about 25 or so. Somehow he gets that she's saying Serena can shift.
But was Lo like given the rundown before he walked in here, or did they like explain this in a villainous monologue?
I mean, it was a villainous monologue. He probably was hearing it. Serena and Lo shift into giant white wolves. They're both giant white wolves. And then the next chapter, we don't even get to see the bloodbath. We just skip to the next chapter when she's getting cleaned up.
No, no, no! That was gonna be my favorite part!
The Wares are interrogating Mick. Serena ended up killing Vanya.
No, my favorite MILF!
Owen comes up and explains that they finally got the footage of the break-in at Serena's place about an hour after the four of them met up, and Mick was the one who did it. That's why Owen called Lo and was like, hey, can we meet? But he didn't know it was Mick at the time, so he let Mick come pick her up. And because they were monitoring Davenport, they knew that he had called Councilman Lark, and they pieced together that from that Davenport, Lark, and Mick were working together. And they're also looking for Mick's son because he's alive somewhere. So meanwhile, Councilman Lark is still alive and is being held in captivity, blindfolded, so like he can't thrall anybody, and also with big headphones on, so he can't hear what they're talking about.
Can we just kill him? I feel like that would solve a lot of problems.
So they take the headphones off him. Lo is standing behind him. Owen and Misery come in. Owen is like, "Hey, Dad, I'm gonna take over your spot, and I'm gonna undo everything that you did, and I'm gonna make alliances with everybody." The dad's just sitting there all prim and proper. You know, they're like, "Actually, Misery, why don't you decide what to do with him? Because
Kill him!
Councilman Lark appointed Owen to be his successor, and Owen is like, well, I'm tired of listening to what this guy says. So why don't you decide?" And Misery's like, "I don't actually want to be councilman. I just... You two figure out what to do with him and don't tell me." So we don't know what happens to him, because she leaves after that. We don't get to know what happens to him.
Misery, you fucking idiot! I want to know!
So then that night, Misery goes to her bedroom and wakes up with Serena curled up in her bed with her and is like, "Why didn't you tell me the truth?" And Serena's like, "I know you hate wares. I'm really sorry." They hug and make up, and then they're hanging out. They're like stuck to each other's hips constantly in the next few days, while Lo and Owen are, you know, politically alliancing. And when negotiations are over, Misery goes to Owen and is like, "Hey, I really need to talk to Lo. When's the next time he's gonna be over?" And he's like, "I don't know. We stopped negotiating a few days ago." He's probably at his house. I don't fucking know.
I don't know where your husband is. Why would I keep track of your husband?
And he's like, "Yeah, and also, you guys don't have to be married anymore. You can, like, stay here." And so Misery's like, "I don't know. I don't really belong with the vampires. Being in the human world is really hard. I don't know where I'm supposed to go." So her and Serena decide to take a joyride, steal Owen's car, and drive down to Ware territory.
Why did they need to steal his car? You're 25, you can rent one.
So they go, Misery drops Serena off with Juno, and they turn into wolves, and they run off into the woods to go do Ware things. Because I guess Juno is...
It's just like, alright, go, dog, go.
Yeah, you're free.
You're free. Don't you get it? I don't want you anymore. Run.
So Juno has been mentoring Serena in werewolf stuff.
Good for her.
Then Misery goes to Lowe's, and it's really empty. She goes to her room. All her stuff is packed up in boxes. And she's like, "Damn, I'm being evicted."
Damn, I'm being evicted. Shit.
Then she turns around, and Lo is standing there. And she's like, I dropped off Serena with Juno, and, you know, I think Serena and Anna would be, you know, have a good time meeting each other, finally have someone that is the same as them. And he's like, "Yeah, you know, Mick and his son have been reunited, but we're still trying to figure out what to do with him.
Because he is a little bit of a traitor.
He's a bit of a traitor, but he also helped raise me, and he was doing it because his son was being held captive, so we don't really know." And then Misery's like, "Lo, I need you to be honest. Am I really your mate?" And he says, "It's a weird concept. You still wouldn't get it. However," he says, "I do want you, and I want to be around you, but I don't want you to feel obligated to be with me. And I'm worried that if I don't let you go now, that I won't ever." And then he's like, "Hey, I packed up all your stuff because I saw the windows at the nest, and we're getting those put in."
So he packed it up so that, like, they wouldn't get glass on it?
Yeah, so they wouldn't, like, step on it and break it, stuff like that. And then they get freaky with it. And she's like, "I want you to knot inside of me." So he does.
Oh, why does it always...
And then once they're done, they have to wait for it to deflate.
Which just sounds like either the most intimate thing possible or just the most uncomfortable eye contact.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was really romantic in the book.
Eh.
Get that on a shirt, dude. Eh.
And she's like, "I trust Lo. I know Lo by now." And she said this multiple times, and I'm like, "You've known him? Like, a month. Tops. No way you know him and can, like..."
Trust him to that degree.
She falls asleep somehow and wakes up, and he's, like, stroking her back. And she's like, "Hey, how long was I out?" And he's like, "It took, like, 30 minutes for the situation to handle itself." And she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go take a shower." And he's like, "No! No! Don't take a shower!" And she's like, "Whoa!" And he's like, you smell so good." And she's like, "Well, why don't you come take a shower with me?"
To come with him in the shower?
They do it in the shower, so that's twice in one chapter they're doing this.
Does he again?
I think so, because she likes it.
Oh my god.
That's the end of the book, but then the epilogue,
She's pregnant.
no.
Thank God.
God, no. So Misery and Lo are like putting artwork up in Anna's room that Lo had drawn for her.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's artsy.
Yeah, it's a giant Godzilla of sparkles over the Hollywood sign, except it says Liliana on it. And first of all, he's like, it's not my usual style. And I'm like, then you shouldn't be comfortable drawing in it. Because if you're just drawing buildings all the time, drawing people and other stuff is going to be difficult.
Yeah, because you're so used to the straight lines and the very precise curves. Like, that's not.
And he's like, it was just a little sketch I was going to throw away, but Misery liked it, so we're hanging it up in Anna's room. And I'm like, don't lie.
Don't lie. You loved that thing.
It was not just a sketch. Anna comes home. Cohen brings her home. And Anna and Serena meet, and they have to, talk about whose cat it really is.
Gotta duke it out.
So then Cohen walks in and sees Serena. Lo is like, oh shit, this is gonna be a problem, isn't it? Because it's implied that Serena is Cohen's mate. And that's how it all ends.
I got a couple feelings about that.
A weird out of nowhere pairing?
Yeah, where these two characters have literally never met or interacted, and both of them are characters we've seen like twice. Also, age gap wise, Serena is Misery's age. Cohen is a mentor's like kind of older brothery, fathery to Lo, who is also Misery's age. Wouldn't that put him in kind of like a
Weird age gap territory.
okay?
So did you like it?
Honestly, I liked everybody except the main characters.
I would have loved to find out what Owen had going on.
What they did to Councilman Lark. How did Vanya die?
Serena had an interesting thing going on, like being locked up for 3.5 months. Thinking nobody's coming to look for you somehow, even though your best friend, even though your argument that you had with your best friend was about her not caring about anything except you.
Yeah, that kind of their relationship is so weird and it throws me. Also, where's Max?
They never say what happened to him.
Did he just get like completely removed? They were like, "No, you're 18 and you need to stop it."
You're a rogue now. You're a rogue.
What about Alex? What happened to Alex?
He's still around. Him and Misery had a dynamic where like she would purposely try to scare him, but then after the whole situation at the nest, he's like not scared of her anymore, and she like snaps at him and is like, I miss when you were scared of me. And I'm like, why are you talking to everybody like this?
Yeah, why are you a bitch?
I hated her the most when she was talking to Anna because of the way she talked to her.
Yeah, that's if giving a kid who is suffering medicine to make them feel better and being like, "Oh, stop being a little bitch." Whoa.
Yeah, like stop bitching about it, just take it. Like these are pills that you've crushed up because she doesn't know how to take pills. She's never had that before. Pills taste horrible crushed up.
They taste horrible in general, especially crushed up. Like that's not
Like don't talk to, and it's your husband who you're falling in love with. It's his sister and you're going to talk to her like that?
and he has like moved heaven and earth for this child. It's not oh, this is his sister who he hates. No, this is
His last living relative.
yeah, and he loves her so much. And you're talking to her like she is yesterday's garbage.
There was one point where she mentioned that like she would help go through Serena's dating app options and stuff. And then later in the same chapter, I think, when she was asking Lo about or like watching Lo and Gabby when she thought that they were mates, she was like, I'm really not one to get into somebody's love life. And I'm like, you're just lying now. You literally just said you vetted your best friend's options.
Oh my god. That's I think that's most of my problem with these main characters. They seem to think that they're really honest people, when in reality all they do is lie.
Well, they think they're honest. They think they're like secretive and badass and like have a heart of stone and things. And it's like, no, you don't.
They obviously don't. You fell in love with this guy in less than a week. Fell in love with you in less than a week, and then repeatedly lied to you despite that.
Hey, they've known each other probably a month tops, but I'm gonna make it less than that because there was like a week or two where they did not interact when she first moved in.
And also, the 5 days that she was KO'd.
Yeah. So you guys don't know each other, and you want to spend the rest of your lives together?
I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. He's your husband, but he's not your man. You came into this thinking he was somebody else's. Relax. You're so fanfiction-y. There's like these two main characters with all of these horrible fanfiction-y problems, and then the rest of the plot's honestly kind of solid. Like I had fun with that,
Yeah, it would, like, if we focused on anybody else, it would have been real interesting.
and it would have been funny to watch Misery and Lo suffer in the background. You know?
So at the wedding, they had painted, like, these marks on her, and they're like, oh, werewolves do this. He's gonna love it. And he was like, well, we'll have a real, like, mate ceremony, and I'll paint those on you.
Spicy. Have you ever had your hand painted before? It's not spicy, it's ticklish. I'm gonna paint on your hand. And not with my knot this time.
Ew!
I know, it's weird. It's weird. Not the knotting in general, but the knotting in her hand. That's I mean, you can be morbidly fascinated with the idea of holding like an organ with a heartbeat in your hand, but once you put it in that context, it just kind of like
And, like, she didn't know that was gonna happen. He was like, just let me show you. And then she's like, and then it starts inflating in my hand. And I'm like, it. What?
okay, to go over my notes. Fang filing. Windows are special. Peanut butter. GTA. There's an exclamation point there. Biting. Thomas Jalapeno. MILF times 2. Kill all Owen. Councilman Lark in sequel. And then a picture of a duck.
So the fang filing thing, I had forgot that I wanted to bring that back up. I'm probably looking too into this, which I did for a lot, like in my notes. At one point, they're like making out, and he runs his tongue over her fang, and she's like, I feel it deep in my core. Are your fangs that sensitive?
And if so, why are we filing them?
Yeah, and if not, are we being figurative about this? But like, if they are that sensitive and you're filing them often, ugh.
Do you just really like pain?
And then I had a question I wanted to ask you.
Go ahead.
They mentioned at one point, like, oh, do you have like a favorite blood type to drink? And she's like, they all taste the same. Do you think they would really all taste the same? To like a vampire?
To a vampire, if that's the only thing that they've ever eaten, no. No, I don't think that they should taste the same at all. You should at least be able to tell the difference between like A, B, and like O.
But she's like, they all taste the same.
Because like the difference in the proteins and stuff, like that's not
Right? That would make it taste different, theoretically.
at least between positive and negative blood. Also, the white wolves. White? There are so many kinds of wolves.
And also, we only get to see 3 wolves?
Throughout the whole werewolf book, why did we even put wolf on the cover? Oh, are we rating these? Are we giving them stars?
I gave it 2 stars.
I wanted to give it 3 for political intrigue, but the main characters nodding pulled it all back. So yeah, I think 2 is fair.
Do you want to know how many stars it has on Goodreads?
Yes.
4 stars.
What? And I cannot emphasize this enough. The fuck? Y'all read this and you guys were like, it was just a smidge off perfect. What?
There's so much. I would like it needs more world building. For sure.
Oh, a lot. Or at least more explaining. Maybe it's there.
Please name the city. Name it, because it feels like a filler name.
And don't name it something stupid, like, I don't know, just to off that dome here. Misery or Lows. We know you can name things. You've got Serena, you've got Liliana.
Vanya?
Vanya's kind of pimp. Rest in peace, girl.
Juno, even?
Juno's kind of cool too.
Like,
Cohen's kind of out there, but it still feels in the realm of reality. Low, you're losing me.
yeah, because every time it's like Lowe's sister, Lowe's this, I'm like, we're going to Lowe's?
Who needs wood? Who needs all this? Well, there's a joke in there somewhere if you look hard enough. I enjoyed that, actually. A lot more than I thought I was going to. If you just erased all the nodding from my memory. Why did he have to nod 3 times in the book?
I think I have the next book picked out.
Is there gonna be more nodding?
No.
I win.
Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, please do check us out on Patreon where you can download all of these Sims for free or watch the time-lapse for just $1. And if you want to see my notes, I'll have those uploaded as well. Anything you'd like to add?
Don't knot in people's hands.
Oh my god!